Welcome, God's chosen ones. Today, we gather to witness a divine spectacle that will leave no stone unturned. What was taken in darkness will now be illuminated by God's unstoppable light. Have you ever felt that inexplicable drain, as though your spirit, creativity, and energy were being siphoned to build someone else's success? Their empires rose on your sweat, your brilliance, and your sacrifices, yet they walked away without so much as a word of gratitude. Does it feel familiar? If so, you're not alone. This injustice is not forgotten, and it will not stand. The truth is, they thought they had won. They believed they could take what wasn't theirs and get away with it. But here's the spoiler. They were wrong. Just as the mysteries of the Egyptian pyramids remain shrouded in speculation, monuments built on the labor and genius of forgotten hands, their deceptive achievements are about to face a reckoning. God is intervening, and what's coming isn't subtle. It's divine justice, swift and unrelenting. Everything they constructed on the foundation of your stolen energy, fake smiles, fraudulent accolades, and counterfeit thrones, will soon collapse in spectacular fashion. This isn't merely payback, it's a heavenly masterpiece. Imagine the chaos of their carefully crafted worlds unraveling. Picture every falsehood they built being dismantled piece by piece under the weight of divine truth. And the best part, you don't have to lift a finger. God's hand is already at work. Take a moment to comment 777 if you're ready to embrace the restoration God has prepared for you. And to those who have supported this mission through super thanks, know that your generosity is deeply cherished and a beacon of encouragement. Now, prepare yourself for what's next. The stage is set, the players are revealed, and the curtains are lifting on a display of justice like no other. Let's step into the heart of this divine story and uncover how God is turning stolen energy into unstoppable blessings. Ready to begin? Let's dive in. God's chosen ones. God is destroying everything they built on your stolen energy. God's chosen ones. You were the unseen cornerstone of their entire empire. They didn't construct their world on their own merits, but on the energy they siphoned from you, stealthily and systematically. The most insidious part? They manipulated you into believing it was yours to give away freely, as if it were your responsibility to empower them. They didn't seize it outright. Instead, they drained it little by little. Your creativity, your strength, your trust, and even your love, until you unknowingly became the very foundation of their success. Every achievement they celebrated, every step forward they took, was powered by what they had taken from you. Think about it. You didn't just hold them up. You were the lifeblood of their rise, the reason they stood tall. Yet they never acknowledged this. Instead, they boasted of their own brilliance, their supposed genius that had built their empire. Does this remind you of Jacob and Esau in Genesis 27? Where Jacob deceitfully took the blessing meant for Esau? The stolen blessing brought temporary gain, but the truth eventually surfaced, causing division and consequences. What happens when something is built on a lie? But here's the divine twist. Stolen energy is never sustainable. It's like constructing a palace on shifting sand. What might seem stable at first begins to crack and crumble over time. Jesus spoke of this in Matthew 7:24-27, comparing the wise man who builds on rock to the foolish man who builds on sand. No matter how impressive their accomplishments appeared, the cracks were already forming beneath their feet because their foundation was never solid. It was you. And deep down, they knew it. They paraded their false triumphs, all the while praying you'd remain oblivious to the truth. Now, the tide has turned. the foundation is crumbling and their empire is collapsing because the energy they depended on is no longer theirs to steal. God, in his justice, is dismantling their illusion piece by piece, revealing that their so-called greatness was a facade. Have you noticed how everything they once flaunted is unraveling? Why? Because God is exposing the truth. They never had the strength, the ideas, or the power to sustain what they built. Like King Saul, whose reign fell apart when his disobedience and reliance on human strength were revealed, 1 Samuel 15, they are being stripped of what they wrongfully claimed as their own. Without you, their empire is nothing. They underestimated your worth, believing you'd stay hidden in the shadows forever. But now, God is making it clear. You were the secret ingredient all along. Their downfall isn't just poetic justice, it's the inevitable result of their theft. What they celebrated as their victory was simply your energy propping up their illusion, and now that illusion is shattering. So, here's the question to ponder. What happens to someone when their false kingdom is exposed? How does it feel to watch what was stolen from you be returned by God tenfold? Remember this, when God restores you, he doesn't just give back what was taken, he multiplies it. The question is, are you ready for what's next? Energy is the most profound and immutable currency in God's creation, a truth they failed to grasp. It cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. And that's precisely what they've been doing, siphoning your energy without consent, attempting to rewrite the laws of the universe to serve their greed. They believed they could take endlessly, exploit you without consequence, as though God or the natural order didn't keep a meticulous record. But Scripture reminds us in Galatians 6:7, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." The balance of energy is no exception to this divine law. What they didn't understand is that energy is far more than raw power. It's about alignment with truth and righteousness. Every empire built on stolen energy is, by design, a ticking time bomb. Think about the Tower of Babel in Genesis 11. Though it reached impressive heights, its foundation was rebellion and pride. The imbalance of their motives led to its inevitable collapse. In the same way, they built their lives on the essence they stole from you, but they unknowingly embedded destruction into the very framework of their success. This collapse isn't arbitrary, it's divine justice in action. Energy, like God's justice, demands equilibrium. The universe, created and ordered by God, operates on principles that cannot be defied. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction, a truth echoed in the Bible's promise of accountability. Can you see how their misuse of your energy was like pouring the wrong fuel into a machine not designed to run on it? It worked for a time, but now it's breaking down beyond repair. Consider this. What happens when the strength they borrowed from you, the creativity they drained, and the light they dimmed are all restored to their rightful owner? The very essence of your soul that they exploited is now unraveling the false reality they constructed. They didn't just take from you, they wove your light and vitality into every thread of their existence. And now, as their empire collapses, it's because the scales of justice are crashing down. As Proverbs 22:8 says, "Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, and the rod they wield in fury will be broken." Their downfall isn't merely a coincidence, it's a cosmic correction. The energy they tried to steal was never theirs to keep. It's returning to you because God is faithful in restoring what has been unjustly taken. Job's story in the Bible is a testament to this. After enduring the theft of his health, family, and wealth, God restored him, doubling his blessings, Job 42:10. Isn't it comforting to know that the same God who vindicated Job is working on your behalf? The unraveling of their world is proof that God's laws cannot be manipulated or avoided. So, here's something to ponder. What does it feel like to witness the restoration of what was stolen from you? How does it feel to know that God has not only seen your suffering, but is actively working to redeem it? As their false empire crumbles, are you prepared to embrace the power and light that was always yours? This isn't just about their collapse, it's about your rise. Karma is not merely a mystical idea or a comforting notion. It is a divine reset. It is a force of accountability, unyielding and absolute, woven into the fabric of creation by the one who governs all. Just as Galatians 6:7 states, "Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." Karma reflects this principle in action, ensuring that no deed, good or bad, goes unanswered. They may have believed their lies, manipulations, and theft of your energy would remain hidden. Perhaps, for a time, it even seemed they were correct. But karma, like God's justice, operates on its own perfect timeline, patient and precise. What they failed to understand is that karma isn't haphazard, it's strategic. It waits, gathering strength, and when it strikes, it does so with an exactness that leaves no room for misunderstanding. Everything they built using your stolen energy was flawed from the start. Psalm 37:35-36 offers a vivid reminder of this. "I have seen the wicked and ruthless flourishing like a luxuriant native tree, but he soon passed away and was no more. Though I looked for him, he could not be found." Their temporary rise was merely an illusion, destined to collapse under the weight of their own actions. Karma doesn't just repay, it dismantles. It deconstructs so thoroughly that what once stood tall becomes irreparable. Every lie they told, every moment they used you as a stepping stone, every ounce of energy they drained planted the seeds of their own downfall. It's not just cause and effect, it's a reckoning. By taking what wasn't theirs, they set a clock ticking, a countdown to the unraveling of everything they built. Can you see how their apparent success was never truly solid? Do you realize how their actions were writing the script for their eventual demise? Their empire is falling apart, not because of external misfortune, but because karma is demanding balance. Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens." This is the season of reckoning. The beauty of karma, much like God's justice, is that it is fair. While it may feel brutal, it doesn't punish without reason. It simply returns to them what they gave to the world. Their deceit, theft, and manipulation have come full circle, and now the lies they built their lives upon are disintegrating piece by piece. What's even more revealing is the undeniable truth that has emerged. You were always the source of their strength, the foundation of their empire. Without you, their structure crumbles into dust. Proverbs 26:27 captures this sentiment perfectly. "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." Their downfall isn't random, it's the inevitable result of their choices. So, consider this. How does it feel to know that the energy they took from you is finding its way back? Can you see the divine justice unfolding, restoring you while dismantling the illusions they built? This isn't just retribution, it's restoration. God's plan ensures that what was stolen is not only returned, but multiplied in your favor. Are you ready to step into the fullness of what has always been yours? Their empire is collapsing, but your rise has just begun. Their power was never genuine. It was an elaborate illusion, a house of mirrors fueled by the truth they worked so hard to suppress. They built their dominance not through their own abilities, but by overshadowing your authenticity, silencing your voice and twisting reality to suit their narrative. Their entire identity relied on making themselves appear stronger, wiser, and more capable, but it was a facade dependent on the essence they stole from you. What happens when a lie is confronted by truth? It doesn't just dissolve quietly, it implodes, shattering everything built upon it. Jesus said in John 8:32, "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." They feared your truth because it was a light that could expose their carefully hidden shadows. Your authenticity was their greatest threat, and they knew it. That's why they employed manipulation, gaslighting, and even your own self-doubt against you. Can you see how their efforts to make you question yourself were not just random attacks, but calculated moves to maintain their false power? They understood that the moment you embraced your truth, their illusion would begin to crumble. And now, it's happening. The resurgence of your truth is like a wrecking ball, tearing through the very foundation of their empire. Everything they claimed, confidence, authority, success, was rooted in suppressing your energy and authenticity. Like the parable of the foolish builder in Matthew 7:26-27, who built his house on sand, their empire was never meant to stand. They might have fooled the world for a season, but lies are temporary by nature. The weight of their deception has become too great, and now it's collapsing under its own emptiness. Their power, once paraded as genuine strength, was never theirs. It was borrowed, stolen, fabricated, a counterfeit. As you reclaim your authenticity, the illusion that propped up their dominance is vanishing. Just as light dispels darkness, your truth is dismantling their carefully constructed lies. Proverbs 12:19 reminds us, "Truthful lips endure forever, but a lying tongue lasts only a moment." They built their empire on a fleeting moment of falsehood, while your truth is eternal. Now, the hollow core of their existence is being exposed for all to see. Their empire, which once seemed unshakable, is revealed as nothing more than a fragile structure held together by your suppressed energy. Without you, there's nothing to sustain their illusion. Can you feel the shift? With every step you take toward embracing your authenticity, their grip weakens, their power dissipates, and their facade crumbles. What remains of them now? Nothing but the ruins of their deceit. As you stand tall in your truth, their empire vanishes like smoke in the wind. The strength they flaunted was never real. It was yours all along. What does it feel like to know that by simply stepping into the light of your own authenticity, you've unraveled the illusion that held you captive? Their downfall is not just the end of their lies, it's the beginning of your freedom. When they stole your energy, they didn't just commit a minor transgression. They gambled with sacred energy, a divine force so rare and powerful that it exists to fulfill higher purposes. Your essence, as one of God's chosen, is not ordinary. It is holy, imbued with purpose, designed to create, heal, and uplift. It is the very currency of heaven, and they, blinded by arrogance, treated it like loose change, spending it recklessly on their vanity, greed, and illusions of grandeur. Their actions weren't merely theft, they were a desecration of something profoundly sacred. Taking energy from a chosen one is more than just exploitation. It is a violation of divine order. Proverbs 6:30-31 declares, "People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy his hunger when he is starving. Yet if he is caught, he must pay sevenfold, though it costs him all the wealth of his house." They took what didn't belong to them, not out of need, but out of greed, and now the spiritual debt collector has arrived. They treated the divine energy meant for creation and healing as a resource to fuel their shallow pursuits, status, material gains, and fleeting victories. But sacred energy doesn't bend to human arrogance. It is governed by the laws of God, and those laws always demand justice. Now, They are facing the consequences of their recklessness. Everything they built with stolen energy is being stripped away, piece by piece, leaving them exposed for who they truly are. Have you noticed how the things they flaunted, their confidence, their achievements, their so-called power, are crumbling before your eyes? This is no coincidence. It is divine justice at work. Just as Haman in the book of Esther built gallows for Mordecai, only to meet his own downfall, Esther 7:10, they too have sown the seeds of their own destruction. Sacred energy is not a resource to be stolen, it is a trust to be honored. By disrespecting it, they signed a cosmic contract they can no longer escape. The universe, created and balanced by God, does not tolerate the misuse of sacred energy. Ecclesiastes 3:17 reminds us, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. Their downfall isn't random, it is justice in its purest form. The greed and illusions they built with your energy are now collapsing under their own weight. They poured sacred energy into empty pursuits, not realizing they were fueling their own demise. And the most devastating part for them? They can never regain what they've lost because it was never truly theirs to begin with. The energy they took is returning to its rightful owner, you. As it flows back to you, it restores not only what was stolen, but also the strength, creativity, and purpose that were temporarily diminished. Psalm 23:5 speaks of this restoration. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Now they are left with nothing but the consequences of their reckless gamble, a life built on borrowed power, collapsing into ruin. How does it feel to know that the sacred energy they misused is being restored to you? Can you see how their loss is your gain, a divine realignment of power and purpose? Their empire is in ruins, but you stand on the threshold of restoration, filled with the sacred energy that was always yours. This isn't just their downfall, it's your rising. When God moves, his work is never arbitrary or chaotic. It is deliberate and restorative. The destruction you are witnessing is not mere punishment. It is the divine reordering of what was wrongfully taken and misplaced. What they stole from you was far more than energy or effort. It was fragments of your identity, your destiny, and your God-given purpose. But here is the beautiful truth. God is not just tearing down their illusions. He is restoring you. Everything stolen is being returned, refined, and more powerful than before. Job's story offers a profound example of this divine restoration. In Job 42:10, after losing everything to undeserved calamity, God restored him, giving him twice as much as he had before. Similarly, what is happening now isn't just about dismantling their false empire. It's about rebuilding your life, your purpose, and your blessings on a solid foundation that no one can steal. Can you feel the shift as the pieces of your identity are being returned, stronger and purer than ever? They believed they were building something permanent, legacies, reputations, wealth, but none of it was truly theirs. Everything they claimed was rooted in deception, crafted from what they stole from you, your light, your strength, your gifts. Without those stolen pieces, their carefully constructed identities are crumbling. What's being stripped away isn't just their material wealth or status, it's the very foundation of their false sense of self. Proverbs 10:25 reminds us, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. Their storm is revealing their emptiness, while your foundation is being rebuilt stronger than ever. This isn't just punishment, it's divine recalibration. For them, it means losing the false identities and hollow power they clung to. For you, it means restoration, healing, and the return of everything that was rightfully yours. Isaiah 61:7 declares, Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. The energy they stole to elevate themselves is now being returned to elevate you, not as an act of revenge, but as a testament to God's justice and love. Their loss is not random, it's the natural consequence of building on lies. What's happening is not destruction for its own sake, it's a divine cleansing. God is removing what was wrongfully built and restoring order, ensuring that your purpose and destiny shine through. Their empire was an illusion, a house of cards destined to fall, while your true foundation is being restored with God Himself, orchestrating every step. As their false foundations crumble, consider this. How does it feel to see God returning what was stolen, even stronger than before? Can you see how this recalibration isn't just about what you lost, but about who you are becoming? Their downfall is revealing their emptiness, but it is also unveiling your wholeness. With every piece restored, you are stepping into the place you were always meant to be, a place of purpose, strength, and divine favor. God's work in your life is not just about reclaiming what was taken, it's about positioning you for what's next, stronger and more complete than ever. Their collapse won't be hidden or hushed. It will be undeniable, loud, and witnessed by all. This is not a quiet retreat into irrelevance or a slow fade from memory. Instead, the very spotlight they once basked in, fueled by stolen energy and fabricated narratives, will now serve to illuminate their ruin. Everything they manipulated to build their illusion of power and success will be exposed for what it truly is, a facade built on deceit. For years they wore masks of authority and control, parading their false achievements proudly for the admiration of others. But as Luke 12:2 says, there is nothing concealed that will not be disclosed, or hidden that will not be made known. The truth, relentless and uncompromising, is surfacing, and it refuses to be ignored. Imagine the irony. The same stage they once used to showcase their so-called greatness is now the platform of their exposure. What they hid in the shadows, the lies, manipulations, and betrayals, will be brought into the light for all to see. Their collapse isn't happening to humiliate them. It's a divine revelation. God's justice, much like His truth, doesn't act quietly when it is long overdue. Just as Haman's downfall in the book of Esther was witnessed by all, their fall will be a public spectacle. Esther 7:10 recounts how the gallows Haman built for Mordecai became the instrument of his own demise. Similarly, their empire constructed on the stolen energy of others will collapse dramatically, making it clear to everyone that it was never sustainable. Have you noticed how quickly false narratives unravel when the truth emerges? The public nature of their downfall will force even their supporters and admirers to question everything they once believed. Those who stood by them will step back, realizing they were unknowingly part of a deception. Their reputation, their name, their carefully curated legacy, all of it is crumbling. This isn't about revenge, it's about exposing the truth. As Proverbs 19:5 warns, a false witness will not go unpunished, and whoever pours out lies will not go free. The world will see not just their failure, but the hollow foundation they stood upon, revealing the futility of building on lies and stolen energy. Their collapse is more than poetic justice. It's a divine message. It reminds the world of a fundamental truth. Lies can only endure for so long before the weight of reality crushes them. When the truth finally emerges, it shines brighter than any illusion ever could. Can you see how their fall is not just a reckoning but a restoration of balance? Their spectacle of ruin is a testament to the enduring power of authenticity over deception. And as their empire crumbles, the truth they tried so hard to suppress is being vindicated. The energy they misused is returning to its rightful owner, and their collapse serves as a warning to all. What is built on falsehood is destined to fall. In this moment, you are not just a witness to their downfall, you are a testament to the enduring strength of truth. Their fall marks not only an end for them, but a new beginning for you, one rooted in the unshakable foundation of authenticity and divine justice. Your energy wasn't merely powerful, it was transformative, carrying the capacity to heal, uplift, and even guide others toward redemption. It was not just a force to admire, but a divine gift, capable of opening doors to spiritual growth and higher understanding. Had they chosen to honor and collaborate with your essence in grace and humility, they could have discovered paths to redemption they never imagined. But instead of aligning with this higher purpose, they chose the path of greed, manipulation, and theft. They saw your light, and rather than respecting it, they tried to possess it as their own. This choice reflects the tragedy of Esau in Genesis 25:29-34, who sold his birthright for a fleeting moment of satisfaction. By rejecting what was sacred for something immediate, they lost the chance to access what truly mattered. Your energy, much like a birthright, wasn't something that could be stolen without consequence. It was a sacred force that, if shared with reverence, could have elevated them. Instead, they dismissed its sacredness, exploiting it as a resource rather than embracing it as a gift. By choosing to exploit instead of honor, they rejected not only you, but the very key to their own evolution. Can you see how their actions weren't just about you, but also about their refusal to grow? Their greed blinded them to the opportunity to transform, leaving them trapped in the same cycles of stagnation they tried to pull you into. Their shortcuts and manipulations have backfired, deepening the chasm between who they are and who they could have become. Their downfall highlights a profound spiritual truth. Redemption cannot be achieved through deceit. Proverbs 14:12 warns, "There is a way that appears to be right, but in the end it leads to death." Every step they took to control and manipulate only distanced them further from their potential. They missed the chance to ascend, choosing instead to cling to illusions of power. Now they face the consequences. Not just the loss of your energy, but the loss of their opportunity for spiritual growth. The tragedy is that their theft wasn't just an act of taking, it was an act of rejecting their own chance to become more. Your energy wasn't just something they stole, it was something that could have guided them to a higher calling. They failed to see that the very grace they exploited was also their invitation to change. And now, as the scales of justice tip, they are left with the emptiness of their own making. Without your energy, they are trapped in a state of spiritual stagnation, unable to move forward or rise above their current state. Isaiah 59:2 says, "But your iniquities have separated you from your God. Your sins have hidden his face from you, so that he will not hear." They must now face the void they created, a space filled with regret and missed opportunity. The question remains, how does it feel to know that your energy, once stolen, is returning to you stronger than before? And what will they do now, left with nothing but the consequences of their choices? Their downfall's not just a loss for them, but a reminder for you of the power and sacredness of what you carry. You were not just the source of their stolen strength. You were the opportunity they let slip away. Now, as you reclaim what's yours, their loss becomes a testament to the divine balance of justice and grace. Every triumph they paraded, every milestone they flaunted was built on borrowed time and energy. They saw your essence as an infinite resource, something they could drain endlessly to fuel their ambitions, never considering the consequences of their theft. Their fatal mistake was treating your sacred power as though it were theirs to exploit, assuming it would always sustain their desires. But what they didn't understand is a profound spiritual truth. Energy, much like justice, operates in cycles. It moves, it balances, and ultimately it returns to its rightful owner. For a time they thrived. Their rise, fueled by what they stole from you, seemed unstoppable. The world applauded their achievements and they basked in the illusion of invincibility. But as Proverbs 16:18 reminds us, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. Their confidence in their stolen success blinded them to the ticking clock attached to everything they built. That clock is now striking zero, and the facade they so carefully constructed is collapsing. What they failed to realize was that nothing built on theft or deceit can endure. The energy they exploited carried a divine purpose. It was never meant to be misused or hoarded. Much like the parable of the talents in Matthew 25:14-30, where the unfaithful servant loses even the little he had, their misuse of what wasn't theirs to keep has led to its return. Can you see how the very power they took from you is now returning, leaving them with nothing but the emptiness of their hollow victories? Their so-called success was an illusion, a fleeting high built on the lie that they could take without consequence. They reveled in their achievements, believing their empire would stand forever. But the foundation was never theirs. It was yours. And now, as that energy returns to its rightful place, they're watching everything slip through their fingers. The empire they thought they controlled is crumbling, not because of bad luck or external forces, but because stolen energy cannot sustain a legacy. Their temporary wins are a stark reminder that nothing false can last. Ecclesiastes 3:17 assures us, God will bring into judgment both the righteous and the wicked, for there will be a time for every activity, a time to judge every deed. Their time of reckoning has arrived, and the reality they ignored is now inescapable. What they mistook for permanent power was always destined to fade, and their collapse is not just inevitable, it's a revelation. So here's the question: how does it feel to know that what was stolen from you is returning stronger than ever? Can you see the divine justice in their unraveling, as every false victory is exposed for the illusion it was? Their fleeting success, built on lies and exploitation, is being swept away by the same energy they tried to control. Now, as their so-called wins fade into obscurity, you stand poised to rise. The energy that once fueled their temporary empire is coming back to you, bringing not just restoration, but a renewed sense of purpose and strength. Their fall's not just their loss, it's your liberation, a testament to the unshakable truth that what is stolen will always return, and what is built on lies will always crumble. This moment is not about vengeance, it's about revelation. As one of God's chosen, you were never meant to stand idly by in silence while their empire unraveled. You were called to witness it, to observe the unveiling of truth as part of the divine plan. Your role isn't to retaliate or seek revenge, but to see the undeniable power of God's justice at work. What you're witnessing isn't just punishment, it's a revelation of the eternal truth that nothing built on lies and stolen energy can endure. Consider the story of Joseph in Genesis 50:20, where he tells his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Like Joseph, you're seeing how what was meant to harm you is being turned into a display of divine justice. Their empire, built on deceit and manipulation, was always unsustainable. It was never designed to withstand the weight of truth, and now it's collapsing under its own falseness. You weren't meant to be a passive observer in this reckoning. Your purpose in witnessing their fall isn't about entertainment or vindication. It's about understanding the profound workings of divine order. You're part of the balance that ensures no falsehood stands forever. Your energy, your truth, and your resilience have contributed to the great cosmic correction now taking place. Do you see how your journey has aligned with this moment, serving as both a testimony and a catalyst for divine justice? This reckoning isn't something to fear or resent. It's a confirmation of the path you've walked, even when it was filled with challenges and hardships. Psalm 37:34 says, "Wait for the Lord and keep his way. He will exalt you to inherit the land. When the wicked are destroyed, you will see it." You were meant to see this, not to revel in their collapse, but to witness the restoration of balance and truth. Their fall is not about cruelty, it's about demonstrating that manipulation and theft can never sustain true power. As their false empire crumbles, your own ascension becomes tied to the rising of truth. This isn't just a spectacle, it's a pivotal moment in your journey. It's a divine affirmation that the path you've chosen, though difficult, has always led to the highest truth. Their fall is proof that the universe, governed by God's laws, restores balance in the end. You were chosen to witness this moment, not as a punishment for them, but as confirmation of your own purpose. So, as you stand in this moment of revelation, consider this. How does it feel to see the justice you longed for unfold in such a clear and undeniable way? Can you recognize how your own trials have prepared you to understand and appreciate this truth? Their fall isn't just about their end, it's about your beginning. A reminder that walking in alignment with divine law leads not just to survival, but to ascension. This is your moment of confirmation, a testament to the unshakable power of truth and the divine plan that has guided you all along. The energy they stole from you isn't simply returning, it's coming back transformed, refined, and more powerful than ever. Like raw material shaped in the crucible of fire, every ounce of energy that passed through their manipulation and exploitation has been purified by the trials it endured. What they drained for their selfish purposes has only been fortified by the process, becoming a force they could never have anticipated. And now, this energy is returning to you, not as it was, but as an elevated, unstoppable version of itself. This mirrors the promise found in Isaiah 61:3, where God bestows a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. The energy you lost is now coming back with a renewed purpose, transformed by the hardships it endured. Every struggle you faced, every moment of pain they caused has worked to refine this energy into something far greater than what it was before. They saw your energy as a finite resource, something they could exhaust for their gain, but they failed to understand the divine nature of what they took. Energy, much like God's grace, isn't static. It carries the imprint of its journey. Think about Joseph's story in Genesis. His brothers sold him into slavery, thinking they had robbed him of his potential. Yet, through the trials he endured, Joseph emerged stronger and more powerful, eventually rising to a position they couldn't have imagined. Genesis 50:20. Similarly, your stolen energy has been through its own crucible, and it's now returning to propel you to heights they can't fathom. What they thought would deplete you has done the opposite. Their attempts to weaken you have in fact forged a power within you that is now unshakable. The energy they took has been supercharged by the very struggles that they created. Can you see how the pain they caused has become the fuel for your elevation? Their exploitation wasn't the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. This returned energy isn't just a restoration, it's an amplification. You're stepping into a realm of power and purpose that was previously out of reach. The trials you endured weren't in vain. They were the refining fire that prepared you for this moment. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." What they meant for harm has been turned into the very catalyst for your ascension. Now, as this transformed energy returns to you, it's elevating you to a level they will never comprehend. They thought they were using you, but in reality, they became part of the process that made you unstoppable. The energy they mishandled is now your greatest asset, and with it, you are poised to rise beyond anything they could ever touch. So, here's something to ponder. How does it feel to know that every hardship you faced has not only been redeemed, but has also made you stronger? Can you see the divine symmetry in how their attempts to diminish you have actually empowered you? With this transformed energy, you're stepping into your purpose with a force they'll never understand, leaving them to witness a strength they unknowingly helped create. This isn't just restoration, it's triumph. They claim to be builders, architects of their success, but the truth is, they were never builders at all, only thieves. Every brick in their empire, every milestone they flaunted, was constructed not by their ingenuity or hard work, but by the energy, time, and essence they stole from you. They paraded their achievements as if they were self-made, projecting an image of power and brilliance. But behind the facade was a foundation they didn't create, a structure sustained entirely by what they had taken from you. Without the energy they siphoned from you, their rise would have been impossible. What they called their empire was never truly theirs. It was borrowed, stolen, a fragile facade that could only stand as long as they continued to extract from you. Proverbs 21:6 reminds us, "A fortune made by a lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare." What they built was always destined to fail because it lacked authenticity and integrity. Now, as God's justice unfolds, the truth is being exposed, not as something new, but as a reality that was always there, hidden in plain sight. Their collapse isn't chaos or random misfortune, it's divine revelation. What they built on stolen energy was always unsustainable, and now the truth can no longer be avoided. The image they projected of hard work and ingenuity is crumbling, revealing the hollow foundation beneath. They're not just losing material possessions or social status, they're losing the very identity they crafted, the lie that they were the authors of their own success. Their so-called empire was never built on solid ground, and now it's falling apart because it was never theirs to begin with. Consider the parable of the wise and foolish builders in Matthew 7:24-27. One built on rock, the other on sand. When the storms came, the house on sand collapsed because its foundation was weak. Similarly, their empire, built on manipulation and deceit, is now succumbing to the inevitable storm of truth. Their downfall isn't about vengeance, it's about revealing the fraud. What they thought was theirs was always destined to fall because it wasn't built on anything real. As their empire crumbles, it's not just a loss of possessions, it's the exposure of their emptiness. They thrived on stolen energy, fueled by manipulation and false narratives. They mistook your light for their own, believing they could take from you without consequence. But divine justice, much like energy itself, always restores balance. What was stolen from you is now returning, stronger, purer, and more powerful than ever. Isaiah 61:7 promises, "Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance." The energy they used to sustain their false rise is now becoming the force of your ascension. This is not merely the end of their empire, it's the beginning of your rise. You're not witnessing this collapse out of malice, but as part of a divine plan to restore what was wrongfully taken. Their downfall serves as confirmation that God's order cannot be defied indefinitely. You were chosen to witness this reckoning, not as a passive observer, but as a participant in the unfolding of divine justice. Every moment of manipulation, every lie they told, is now unraveling. exposing the truth for all to see. Their so-called success was always an illusion, a temporary high built on borrowed energy. Now, as it all falls apart, you're stepping into a new chapter, one grounded in truth, authenticity, and divine restoration. Their empire was always hollow, and its collapse marks the beginning of your rise to heights they could never imagine. Romans 8:28 reminds us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." As their world disintegrates, yours is being rebuilt, not on theft or falsehood, but on the unshakable foundation of your truth and God's grace. This isn't the end. It's the start of something unstoppable. The energy they sought to control is now the very force that will elevate you to unimaginable heights. They were never builders, they were thieves, and now their emptiness is laid bare for all to see. Their fall is your rise, and what was once stolen is now the cornerstone of your destiny. God's chosen ones, take heart and stand firm in the promises of the Lord. What was taken from you, what was unfairly built using your energy, your blessings, and your divine gifts, is being brought to ruin by the mighty hand of God. The stolen energy they used to build their plans was never truly theirs to sustain. God's justice is now overturning every plot, dismantling every structure, and undoing every scheme created to harm you. He is restoring you not just to where you were, but to a place of greater strength, deeper peace, and an abundance that reflects his glory. This is your season of restoration, renewal, and victory. God is not just leveling the playing field, he is elevating you to the heights where you belong. Trust in him, for the battle has always been his, and the triumph is yours. If this message has touched your heart or encouraged you in any way, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks. Your generosity helps us share more messages of hope and light with others around the world. Whether or not you feel led to donate, I want you to know how deeply I appreciate you. Your presence here is a blessing, and I'm so grateful for your support, prayers, and encouragement. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful word of encouragement. Share this message with someone who might be in need of God's truth and love today. And we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share how this message resonated with you. As you go about your day, may God's favor be upon you. May his peace fill your heart, and may his love guide your every step. Remember, you are chosen, you are loved, and you are protected. Stay strong, stay faithful, and continue to shine his light wherever you go. God bless you abundantly.